at the end of the day, you'll always end up with what you need. I think a lot of times people get caught up in the rich and the fame and all of that stuff, and you don't really need all of that. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, if you do God's will for you and you glorify Him with what you do, He will provide what you need for yourself. Alright, next up, I got a clip from Lil Wayne. Interesting stuff to say about it, but first, let's watch.
I was told, he was like, you know, I just love when you talk about drugs because you don't just say, I get high, I do this drug, and like you say, it's like you actually make me think that you are the drug. He was like, for a guy that haven't done drugs in 10 years, it's like when I hear your song, I'm automatically back to the position and mental mind state I was in when I took that drug.
This is where that conflict that I was talking about earlier comes in. He does claim to be a Christian and have a faith in God, and it's just his music. I can attest. I once was a huge Lil Wayne fan. My iPod was just full of his music, and so I've listened to a great dose of his songs, and I have to say that none of them glorify God in any way, shape, or form. And in all actuality, they gratify all of the works of the flesh. They are, I mean, nothing fruitful comes from his songs. And I mean, even in this quote, it just shows a man who, you know, don't really know his state, but you know, he could have been addicted to drugs. Maybe he was just, you know, realized that it was a bad habit, whatever the case may be. Been off of it for 10 years, listens to his song, and it snaps him back into that state where he once was. Like, that should show that, you know, his music, and he realizes that it's an influence. He knows that it's not just me saying some stuff and, you know, oh, nobody really, it's just the beat. You know, some people say, like, he knows that his music has an influence on people. And I mean, even for him to later on in the interview, he says, you know, that's what I try to do. Like, I don't try to just, you know, make my music, you know, I do this, I do that. I try to be the drug and make you have that feeling. Like, it's he knows that's what his goal is to influence you in that way, and that is totally not of God. And that just leads you to question, you know, well, you know, you claiming God, but yet your works claim something else. So it's like, you know, there's a confliction right there, and that's something that, you know, if he truly does, you know, believe in God and, you know, wants to believe, that's something that I feel like he has to examine himself and see that, because it's clearly to see that he really doesn't think that there's a problem with it, and he just has to, you know, hopefully God, you know, touch his heart so he can, you know, examine himself and see that, you know, what I'm doing isn't pleasing to God and is contradictory to what I'm claiming that I believe. And that's the same way with us. Like, you know, it's a lot of things that we do and we try to justify, or that we don't justify, we just do, and we just think it's okay. Sometimes it's just complete rebellious, and sometimes it's lack of knowledge because we're not in our word. Either way, we have to make those corrections. And as Christians, when you see people in those positions, you should hold them accountable. And if they reject it, then, you know, you just gotta, you know, continue to pray for them and just, you know, let them know, you know, you're not representing, and, you know, you gotta step it up. That's pretty much what I got to say for that. The next one with Beyonce, it's not a clip. I couldn't find like a actual interview. It was actually taken. It was an interview that was put in a magazine. And in the interview, I read what the guy said. It says, while her sexy dance routines have been criticized by some, Beyonce is confident God isn't offended by her shaking her butt. After meeting Prince Charles in a charity concert in London, she denied any contradiction between her raunchy approach and personal faith. She said, and this is a quotation of her, "I honestly believe he wants people to celebrate their bodies so long as you don't compromise your Christianity in the process." Now, there are two major things wrong with that. One, I don't know where it talks about in the Bible. And maybe, if you know, that's what the comment box is for. You can inform me. I'm all for learning. But I have never come across or heard of anything about God saying in the Bible we should celebrate our bodies by being half naked and dancing in front of all of America. But I do recall God talking about women and modesty, and in no way, I mean, the outfit she wears going on stage and videos, her lyrics, just all of that is so contradictory to her faith. And she says, so long as it does not compromise your Christianity in the process. Well, to me that sounds like compromising. You gave up modesty, the language, taming your tongue, you gave that up, you know what I'm saying? And she got a song, I Got a Big Ego, her songs, a lot of songs about her, like I say, can be very prideful, and it's just, you've given up so many core values of Christianity, the fruits of the Spirit, and, women being modest and all of that, and it's just like, other young women who watch and see her and, see her being successful and claiming Christian, they think that's okay. I mean, you look at just, and no offense because I know this isn't all girls, but just looking around, the majority of females you see in America today, especially during summertime, springtime, like, show so much skin. If you go back so many years, women, it was like degrading. You would look down upon this society for, showing your ankle, and like now they show their whole leg, arm, whatever they could get out that's not two places, and some of them don't even care about them. And it's like, at what point is the line get drawn? Like, at this rate, is everybody just gonna be walking around naked in the next 50 years? Like, it's ridiculous, and nobody thinks anything is wrong with it, and that's one of the biggest problems. Like, nobody sees anything wrong with a girl walking around with 2-inch shorts and showing cleavage. It's just like, oh, that's cute, that's what she likes to wear, I look good in it. And it's like no one stops to think, well, what does God think about this outfit? Am I being modest? Am I causing my brothers in Christ to stumble? Because I know a lot of girls say, oh, well, they just shouldn't look. And it's like, come on now. Most girls wear that stuff for the attention, and some I found honestly just wear it because they feel like it looks good on them. But at the same time, you have to be looking out for the other members of the family, your brothers in Christ. Like, you don't want them to stumble. Paul even talks about, though, he say, if meat makes my brother stumble, then I won't eat meat. And that's like, him saying, even if it's something that, that I enjoy, that I like, if it's going to cause one of my brothers in Christ to stumble, what's more important? Something that I like to enjoy, or something, or, my brother's or my sister's faith, you know what I'm saying, their walk with God. And to him, he saw that as more important. And, we should also look at it in those eyes, like, what's more important. I just wanted to leave y'all, just thinking, about some of the stuff that I said, and, just our frame of mind when we, idolize these people, and, what are they saying, in their music, what kind of example are they setting, and how does it align with the word and what God says. And I just encourage you to be mindful of all that. But yeah, that concludes our second, episode of Contender or Pretender. I'm not sure what I have next. I want it to be a surprise, so I'm not going to let you know what it is. It's just going to come up. Stay tuned. Also, check out some of the 2 letters I have up in the inspiration. If you're wondering how the little book thing works, you click on the right bottom corner of the page and hold it, and you can like turn the page. And that's the same way you flip through the media. But check out those. Like I said, it's inspiration. Those are pretty, good, 2 good little stories you can check out. And also on the links, DJ Wado and Sir Walt Radios, you know, they're real good. Pastor Justin, all his messages normally, you know, leave a great impact. And then also a young lady that I know from HG, Jaleesa, she has a blog. I actually checked it out, and it's dope. And, you know, she be on some real stuff. You should check that out if you can. And just, you know, like I say, just keep checking in. You know, I put all kind of stuff. It's not a video. You know, I might upload some different stories or, you know, other places that I see, you know, Christians, you know, doing that thing. I'll put that in the links. And, you know, comment. Let me know what you think about the video. If you have any, you know, feedback, you know, if you could debate, you know, go back and forth in the comment box, you know, it's whatever. Just, that's your way of keeping in touch with me. But, until next time, see you.
Like a flip-flop.